traveling at the speed of rocket.
I like the, what do they call it? The medley.
Yeah.
That they didn't catch that whole. They didn't catch the beginning of it.
And then I went
With the Rocket Man.
Rocket Man, burning at the speed of boots with the fur.
Pretty good. And I think Sir Elton would agree.
Time
And I think
before I can drop it low. What's it? Wait. Before
Hit the floor.
Hit the flow.
Drop it low, low, low. Mars ain't the kind of place to drop it low. In fact, it's cold as hell. Sure they got them apple bottom jeans.
And the baggy sweats.
And the baggy sweats. And the Reeboks with the strap. Mars ain't the kind of place. Now, God damn it. I can't stop. Everything I do, I turn into Bob Dylan.
Yeah, you've got too much Dylan in you.
I just have too much Dylan fly. It's in my blood.
Yeah, you got
it's
Dylan
in my very being.
You know what it is? It's because Dylan sounds like a harmonica. If harmonicas could talk, that's your Dylan.
Yeah.
And you've been spending too much time on the harmonica.
Disagree. I think that's probably impossible for someone to spend too much time.
You haven't spent enough time on the harmonica?
Let me tell you something. You remember when we went to Seattle? It was when we went on the Alaskan cruise. So this was the summer
of 69.
Of 69, I think. This was the summer before 8th grade for me. It was either the summer before or summer. It was the summer before. I'm pretty sure it was not the summer after.
Before 8th grade.
It was the summer before 8th grade.
Yeah, that adds up.
And we were in Seattle. That's where we were going to get on the cruise ship to Alaska. And we went to the Space Needle.
Yeah, I didn't like
what
it
a
up there.
distant memory this is. Well, yeah, you didn't step on it. They have that part that's all grass.
I just didn't like it up there. Can I say something?
Hold on, I'm not done. Why I bring this up is because there was a family of street performers down by the Space Needle, and the kid, man, I mean, so in 7th grade, I'd be like, what, 13 or something? 12, 13.
No, 11.
11 something.
11.
I think
12.
I'm going to say I was like 12 or 13.
No, you would have been 12.
I would have been 12.
Okay.
And the kid playing the harmonica, the kid of the family, his two parents were doing like a puppet show, and then this kid was ripping the harmonica, and he was like, he must have been 7 then if I was 12. If I was 12 in a day, and he was ripping on this thing, but he you know, they're in the sun.
Saxophone on the harmonica.
Saxophone on the harmonica. Yeah. That's how good this kid was. And it was a literal, like, I'm tired, Grandpa, because he kept looking at his parents with the little marionettes, and he was like, I don't want to play the harmonica anymore. And they were like, you got to do it. Dude, and he went back to ripping.
That's so sad. I actually saw a similar situation. I was walking through the streets of New York City not long ago.
I was walking through the city streets.
The thing is, dude.
And you're dressed like Jay-Z. This is good.
This guy, no.
Yeah.
This guy, the reason I felt bad for what I hope are his children is he looked like a con man. Like if I saw a guy.
He had like a fedora with a little a card in his hat.
No, but he had really black hair that was combed over, and he had a bit of a V-neck situation with a jacket, like a blazer jacket going on. And he was on the street with his 2 children and their dog, and he was playing guitar, and I believe his daughter was singing. The son might have just been on an iPad, like might have just gotten dragged along, and they had the dog there, and the guitar case is out for the it just felt, he felt con man-y. If you saw this guy,
I don't know.
You want to know who he looked? I can tell you.
Sounds
who
like he was just
an
Italian guy.
No, because he was very fair skinned.
That's how they get you. That's an old Italian trick. Try and make people think Italians are white.
He looks like the guy from. I'll get there. I have his face in my brain. Now I'll tell you this. This is totally off topic, and I'm gonna go back to where we were.
Okay.
But the you know how the chip that the Neuralink.
Mm-hmm.
If the Neuralink was able to tell me who the actor I was thinking of that looked like this guy was right now, it would be worth it for me. Because this will eat me alive. Dude, this is why I think he looked like a con man, because he looked like the actual Wolf of Wall Street. That's who it is, not an actor.
He looked like the real Jordan Belfort.
He looked like the real Wait.
Damn, that's a tough look. No, I know what he looks like. He's got the bulgy eyes. We should pull him up on the laptop.
Yeah. This is what he looked like. Yeah, that's what he looked like. But he had, and picture it, little bit, not a super deep V, but it was a V nevertheless.
Yeah.
Blazer on, strumming the guitar, dog sitting in between his legs.
Well, that's just
Kid,
the blues,
little girl
man.
singing.
He's just a blues man. That's
Anyway,
no con.
I felt bad for him. So I felt bad for the kids. So I feel your sentiment with this harmonica man.
I didn't feel
Now,
bad for the kid.
Watch this. I've remembered this whole thing, so I don't even need Neuralink. I'm gonna bring it back full circle. The reason I didn't like the Space Needle and what I was gonna say when I asked if I could say something, which you respectfully declined, which is the right thing to do, and that's why I asked, because you were in the middle of a story.
Okay. Sounds like you were complimenting me, but I think you were complimenting yourself. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they've got, they engineer buildings to sway for their own structural integrity. I wish somebody could see that right now. It'd make them vomit in their mouth.
I'm just doing my Space Needle impression, bah.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, who am I?
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, finish your. I'm gonna be an impression of a monument.
Yeah.
And you tell me which monument I am. Okay.
Okay.
Which one should I? Okay, I got it. There's my.
Washington.
Nope. Close.
I don't know.
That's not as good. Okay, wait. I got. Okay, here's an impression of another one. You know what this is.
The Capitol building?
No, you know what this is.
I don't know what that
I'm not
is.
switching. I'm
I
not
don't
switching.
know.
You know what this is. Which monument is this, man?
I don't know.
It's not a historical monument. It's like a. What is it? Oh fuck. What is
it's
it?
not a historical
Oh wait,
monument?
actually, I should be doing like this. No, but it's like a famous structure. What is it? You know what this is. Look at me. I'm imitating this monument perfectly. What monument am I imitating perfectly right now, Matthew? You know it.
Can you just tell it to me?
The St. Louis Arch, dude.
Dude, that's
Clearly.
not Archie. That's not Archie at all. I was looking for a dome. That's why I went Capitol building first, and then I almost went.
You were looking for a dome, but it was clearly an arch.
Yeah, I didn't know it was
I don't
an arch.
have. There's no.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
space.
Well, it's hard because 2 to 3D. It's a lot. 2D, 3D type scenario.
You were never good at
can't go
Pictionary.
like this, because that I guess would be dome.
Yeah, that would
Domes
be.
don't sway. Does the arch?
Dude, what am I right now?
You're a dome, dude. You're definitely
what
a
dome
dome.
Specifically? What dome?
You're the Canisius Golden Dome on top of Montanta.
God, you nailed it. You nailed it.
I understand the whole structural integrity thing. To me, if a building needs to sway to stand, it's too tall.
I think it's the most patriotic thing a building can do.
Is sway?
It's sway.
Dude,
Absolutely.
I remember being up in the Space Needle and being like, looking at somebody and being like, dude, this thing's coming down.
Today's
like,
the day.
No, it moves. And I'm like, no, this is a building. Somebody just listen. Where's George? Is he reading to a group of children right now? Because somebody needs to start whispering in his ear. Because something ain't right with this building. All right, something's happening, and they're like, nah, dude, it moves. And I'm like, okay, perfect example of we took it too far. People are like, are we taking this whole AI thing too far? And other people are like, no. I'll tell you what we have taken too far. Buildings. Because buildings should not be able to sway. When I walk into a building, I want that fucker firm. I want it just planted. I want it to be like a 4-year-old boy trying to tackle Derrick Henry. Like just strong, just planted. Roots so deep. I want, that it's just.
It could trace its way back to the Mayflower.
I was going to say like a tree, but I guess trees sway.
Trees historically, like.
But trees also eventually come down.
So do buildings, man. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
But I mean from swaying. Like trees will sway until they don't sway no mo. Like at what point are they going to be like, hey, dude, the Space Needle's swaying a little bit too much. Like, and also, buildings, I guess if you can find a way to make them to increase the structural integrity by allowing it to sway, but maybe each floor is its own like gyroscope so that I don't feel it swaying.
Jesus
maybe
Christ.
I could get down with it. But being in a building and feeling it going back and forth is a terribly unsettling feeling, in my opinion.
I don't know. When I was in the arch, the St. Louis Arch, brother, let me tell you something about that arch. You know how I used to be terrified of elevators?
Yeah.
This would have been a literal nightmare for me because they put you in an elevator up to the top, and it's the smallest elevator you've ever seen. It's
Small
like
arch.
one of those crazy
It's not a big
submarine things. And
it's old.
It's old. It's old as hell.
Our
It's older than the
grandmother's
Space
been to the
Needle,
top
I
of that
bet.
arch.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, in 79.
79 probably, yeah. And I was up there swaying. I don't.
The
you
arch
know me
sways?
though, but you know. Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
has to. You know me.
You be swaying. Yeah,
That's
I
just
know.
kinda
That's
my
one thing.
thing.
When people ask me, like, oh, like, you and your brother, you guys seem similar. I'm like, well, no,
Hold on.
He's a bit of a swayer.
I'm a swayer. I sway.
I like
I've
my
gotta
shit
admit that.
planted.
I'll come clean on the swaying.
I like my shit planted.
Yeah.
Lag bolt me straight into the ground.
Oh, can we talk about this real quick?
Sure.
Just real quick. There's not a lot to say
I
about
don't know.
it. There's not a lot to say about it. There's not a lot to say about it, but just real quick.
Stranger Things?
No, I still haven't.
Okay.
I started episode 5, and I
Okay.
watched a few minutes, and then I
Okay.
was like,
Continue.
I'd rather watch something else. Sorry. I was literally just about to talk, Matthew.
I know, but
I was
it was
literally
such a
just about
long
to say it.
pause.
Because I was shocked to my very core. The new record for highest selling comic
Oh,
book.
yes.
It now I can't even remember how much that sold for.
15 milli.
Not this one, the Superman one.
Ooh,
The
7
9
or
Superman
8
one.
mil, 10
No,
mil,
I think it was
13
9
mil,
or
mil,
12.
9 or
It
12.
might have been 12.9. I think it was 12.9. Anyways, Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman, all the way from 1938. Sold. Graded 9.0 copy. Not only was it a 9.0 Action Comics #1, which is, I assume, the highest graded one, but it was formerly owned by Nicolas Cage. It's got the Nicolas Cage pedigree on it. It says right on the label, from the collection of Nicolas Cage. Now, he wasn't the last person to own it. I remember when he sold his comic book collection like a while ago, but whoever bought it from him, they made a mint on it, and now it's probably off in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the Prince has it.
I think the Prince probably has it.
That would be so sick.
I can't. You know the thing.
You know my
about-
opinion on this. I said this to you the other day.
folks. There's so much going on. You've got so much on your plate. Why take up more of your time with little things like having to go to the grocery store? My personal least favorite. I have started getting my groceries delivered, and it has changed everything for me. I am genuinely more happy of a person not having to deal with going through those aisles, people just running into other things with their carts, like people not looking each other in the eye. I really hate the grocery store, and the parking lots, forget about that. The great news is Instacart exists. And you might not know this, but you can get more than just groceries on Instacart. You can also get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour, boy. But the best part is right now, 2 in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link in this episode description. Start taking things off your plate and putting different things on your plate. It's a food delivery joke. It's not really a joke. It was just kind of a thing I said. The point is this. Make your life a little easier with Instacart. Hit the link in this episode description. Get that deal and start using Instacart today. Listen, like I said, you've been working hard, and I think you deserve to treat yourself. And there's no better way to do that than to check out all the great stuff we've got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. We've got more than just clothes, but let me say this. The clothes, they're going to make you look good and make you feel good, okay? This is not some cheap, weird like that Gildan brand, and it fits disgusting. This is like, you're going to want to wear this stuff. It's super comfortable. The t-shirts especially. I'm talking tri-blend material. That's 3 kinds of material. That's Target quality, folks. But we've also got mugs and pint glasses and bucket hats and baseball hats, slides, notebooks, fanny packs, all made to order. So again, get yourself something nice and check it out over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Link is also, of course, going to be in this episode description. Check it out. And if you're interested in advertising on this show, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. You know, man, the podcast advertising, it feels like it gets bigger every week. Every week I listen to, you know, my regular roster of podcasts, and it's like, Chevy is doing ads on podcasts now. Oh, Nissan's doing ads on podcasts now, like car companies, but not just them. McDonald's, State Farm, like massive brands that have massive ad budgets that do big commercials on the Super Bowl every year and all this stuff, and it's very cool. I mean, I can't think of anything in my lifetime that has created its own space for advertising in the realm of like television, newspaper, but now podcasts are right there with them, and that's only going to get bigger, and that's really cool. The problem is there's not really any room for smaller or local businesses to get in on the action. At least they haven't yet. But the good news is that's what we're here for, all right? That's what we're all about. So again, if you're interested in learning more about all the benefits to podcast advertising and what it can do for you, hit us up, reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com.
I'm going to take out like a personal loan one day and just get you like a ridiculously valued comic.
I mean,
just like for
I'd
my
like to
own
see you
personal, like my future children will not be set up for success because I'm going to do something really funny one day.
And that makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Matthew, people don't remember their money. The only thing they remember is the laughter.
Is the slab. The only thing they remember is the slab, man.
Ashes to ashes, buildings sway and fall,
dude.
But the slabs are forever.
Swaying buildings.
The slabs are forever. But you know, I was thinking about that comic book is from 1938, and it's graded on a 9.0.
You have white pages.
White fucking pages. And I got to tell you something, man. That thing shouldn't exist. Like, it's crazy, like, it's cool. But honestly, to me, I'm like, no, it's not fucking fake.
Could be fake.
No way.
My
best friend, Matt Nelson, probably looked at it himself.
You're telling me over the years, not one schmag was lit by that book?
No way. It would have...
Like, not one cigarette was smoked in the vicinity of that book. 1936, dude. 1938, you came out of the womb with one of those fancy long tips to make sure you didn't burn yourself.
Look, I'd have to smell it to be sure. And we're just not there yet. But, you know, 1938. And, like, it's a piece of history. That's the thing I love about these old comics. I've said it a million times. It's a real piece of history. And that especially.
How's the storyline?
The storyline of Action Comics? Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So, originally, the guys who created Superman wrote it as a comic strip. Because in the 1930s and 40s, comic strips were a lot more of a illustrious industry than comic books.
Because they were in a newspaper, and everybody was getting the newspaper.
Goddamn right. So the guys who were the famous newspaper comic strip guys, Milton Caniff, Al Foster, they were like real celebrities. So Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, who created Superman, they wanted to write a comic strip. So
Isn't
they
that
wrote.
How Garfield got his go.
And that's Garfield. Personally, my favorite comic strip of all time. I dare say. Okay. I dare say that.
Okay.
And so they originally wrote it as like a comic strip, and then they couldn't sell it to the newspapers. So
why?
People just didn't like it. They thought it was shit. But so then it gets sold to National Comics, which would become DC. You know.
That was gonna be my next question.
Yep. And National was putting out a new book, Action Comics. They needed a title, a big feature for like the cover or whatever. So they bought this thing a while ago. They're looking at the shelf. They pull it down. They're like, okay, this will do. They toss it in there. So they just basically, put all of the comic strips together to make this like 8-page story.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Superman, he saves a woman from being executed, who's a woman who's wrongly convicted of murder. He stops political corruption.
This is all in 8 pages?
This is all in 8 pages. He stops a guy from beating up his wife, which is a great scene. So he was really, he was he was a crusader for social justice. He was the coolest. So, just to go a little further, finish this up, Action Comics #1 comes out, gangbusters. They're like, what the fuck? How is this selling so good? So each week it's like going up and up and up, and they're like, what the hell is happening? So they put a little in like the 5th issue probably. They put a little thing in there that's like, hey, write in like, why are you buying this book? Because it's not just a Superman story, it's a bunch of stuff. And everybody writes back Superman. So by the time they're starting to print Action Comics #7, they put Superman back on the cover, and he was on almost every cover from #7 to today. I think there was maybe one cover soon after
They're
that.
still making Action Comics?
Oh yeah. It's Action Comics. I think they're on 1089. Maybe they're on 1090
just like all
right now.
like mini stories?
No, now it's changed. It's fully dedicated to Superman.
Okay.
So,
but Superman also has his own comic.
that's right.
That doesn't make sense.
Of course it does.
I have a question. So the guys that invented Superman for the newspaper comic strips that then sold it to whatever National Comics, were they around to see the success? Like, did they get brought on then by...
Dude, okay, so here's the story of Superman. Of this, because...
Well, can I ask one more question? Because I think you're going to answer it all together. So my question is then, like, Superman the figure is in Action Comic #1, and it's just like a story of him saving, like, whatever, stopping political corruption, but it has nothing to do with his home planet and kryptonite and everything like that, right? Like,
so I think in the first one they do go over the origin story. Like, he is a baby. They find, I'm pretty sure that is in the first issue. If not, I'm so sure that it is, but if for some reason I'm wrong, then it's like right soon after that they do tell, like, he's obviously an alien.
Yeah. So was that storyline from National Comics, or was that part of the original?
That was all part of them. Okay. That was all Jerry and Joe.
Okay.
Kryptonite, side note, was actually invented for the Superman radio show because the guy who voiced Superman wanted a vacation. Because, the radio show, they do them every day. So the writers of the radio show were like, we need to create some kind of thing so that Superman can be, like, out of action for a week so this guy can, go to wine country or whatever. So it didn't get adapted, or it didn't get introduced in the comic books until Superman number... 164?
And that was not Atomic.
Or just Superman 64? I don't know.
That was not Atomic Comics, so that was
Action
Superman
Comics.
book.
It was in a Superman book, not in Action Comics. But of course they're running parallel. Anyways, so here's the thing. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster sold Superman to National Comics for they paid him a page rate. I think it was $8 a page or something like that. My math's gonna not work out here. Whatever the rate was, they got $150 for Superman, which, that was kind of the way it was.
1938.
They didn't. Nobody knew this was gonna be a huge character. So then Superman takes off. He's bigger than the Beatles. Immediately, he's got the radio show. He's a balloon in the Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah.
The Superman merchandise is literally unparalleled to this day, I would say. So Jerry and Joe, they start trying to do some other stuff, but it's not really successful. Eventually, they sue DC Comics, now DC Comics, for the rights back to Superman. DC Comics fires them. So
Why, they were hired?
yeah, they worked for DC doing Superman stuff and then
Okay.
some other things. So they sue DC. DC fires them. Years and years go by. There's a lot of stuff in the middle, but obviously Superman's still popular. 1978. It's decided that the Superman movie is going to be made. Big budget movie. You know, Marlon Brando's going to be in it, right? This is a big fucking deal. One of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, one of them is working as a cashier at a grocery store now, and the other one has some other job similar to that. So both of them are living paycheck to paycheck. They're pretty much broke.
Even though they invented Superman.
Even though they
Yeah.
invented Superman, they get nothing. And their lawsuit said as such from, way back when. So the woman who was the model for Lois Lane is now married to one of them. She sees in the paper, hey, they're making this big movie. Everybody's going nuts. She calls DC. She's like, you got to start giving us some cash because it'd be a bad look if you have this huge movie coming out and the creators of Superman die of starvation before it even premieres.
Yeah.
So then you have artists, most famously Neil Adams, the most prolific Batman artist of the 20th century.
That's what I know him as, yeah.
Absolutely, taking up the cause for Jerry and Joe Siegel. So they get a new deal with DC, which DC did not legally have to do, of course, but the PR would have been so bad that they decided. So they got a couple $1 million and royalties for Superman. But that's how it all ended up. But they were these guys who invented one of the most popular
In
fictional characters.
1938,
Yeah.
we're still...
And 40 years later,
They're
they
still-
had nothing.
Yeah.
They had literally, absolutely nothing.
That kind of sucks.
It does.
Because they were probably old when they finally got paid.
They
so
were
couldn't
old.
really, get
they-
after it.
They died, one of them died in 92 and the other died in 96, I think.
Well, so they got 20 years.
Yeah.
They got 20 years
Almost.
with their cash.
Yeah. I don't know how much
Think they're
money that
buying
kept
slabs.
going. I know that both of the estates are still super protective of these things. I don't know all the
Do they
details of the
still
deal.
get royalties on Superman?
I don't know all the details of the deal.
You have to look at the
Excuse me.
fine print.
But I do know that the creators of Superman for 40 years got absolutely nothing after creating one of the most popular fictional characters of all time. And it took a lot for them to finally get any justice, any
more you
semblance
know.
of justice. Yeah.
The more you know about Superman.
So that's pretty cool. I didn't tell that story in the most concise way, but
No,
I think
that
I got
was
the
perfect.
finer points of it.
Yeah.
So,
that was
Do
really
your own
good.
research.
Yeah. I don't know where we were before that.
Just talking about Nicolas Cage, I think, the
Shout out
action
to
number
him.
one. It's so cool that he had... I would love to own a Nicolas Cage comic. It'd probably be so...
You could probably get one.
Yeah,
Does he
I
have his
could
own
probably
comic?
get one.
You should.
I don't know if he
The
ever...
Adventures of Nicolas
I wouldn't be
Cage.
surprised if he ever did. He probably wouldn't do it about himself. I wouldn't be
Should.
surprised. That'd be cool, I would
His
say.
superpower is just his hair. You kind of got some Nicolas Cage hair.
You know what? You're fucking right. I
know.
do.
You got that front poof.
The more, if I bring it, you ever, if you watch, Raising Arizona, which is a great movie with him. With the headphones, I block it a little bit, but I do have a bit of the classic Cage.
Yeah, you got a little Cage.
A bit of the classic
You got some
Cage.
National Treasure Cage in you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I watched Ready Player One again the other day.
No kidding.
I
Did you
wanted
finish
to.
the book? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Been
Okay,
done.
nice.
Remember? We talked about this. I started reading
Oh, I didn't
that
realize
Red
you
Rising
finished
book.
it. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah. I really haven't been doing... There's a lot of sports.
Sure.
Sports season. I did... I've still been watching Chuck. I brought up Chuck on this podcast last week, right?
You certainly did.
Dude, The Intersect.
Oh,
So cool.
The Intersect.
Bryce Larkin.
Bryce Larkin.
Cool guy.
One of the best.
Yeah. That's all I got on Chuck.
The Intersect. See, if they do when you were talking about the neural link earlier, If they do a neural link intersect style,
Like where you just flash on things.
yeah.
That guy has the world's smallest penis.
Oh my God, the
Dude,
CIA.
I would fake flash on people all the time.
You should.
Oh my God, dude! Do you know the CIA has a file on you? What? No. Yeah, I have this intersect in my brain. It's not a big deal. What does it say? It says you literally invented micro penises. Yeah.
The CIA's been tracking this guy's balls for years.
Yeah. They estimate that your offspring will have an even micro penis. That's what the file says.
Oh my God.
And the Sphinx flashed in there too. I don't know. The Sphinx always flashes.
You gotta have the
Anytime
Sphinx, the
you
all-seeing
flash,
eye with the pyramid.
There's always a Sphinx.
You gotta have a Sphinx.
Yeah. The Sphinx is always flash. Am I saying that right? Sphinx?
Sphinx. Yeah.
That's-
You're adding a little bit of a schwitz to it, but
Sphinx?
I'm gonna raise your camera a second.
Well, I leaned forward.
Lean forward, and it just it happens when you get passionate.
If there's one thing you should know about me, I get passionate.
So hopefully that
Andy.
My God.
That's the only thing. When people ask me, like, hey, if there's one thing at a job interview, what's one thing we should know about you? Brother, I get passionate.
I get very passionate.
And if I flash, I see a Sphinx.
I think that's the Andrew Cuomo defense. I'm passionate. Ah. Kyle Dunnigan, video pretending to be Andrew Cuomo. Real quick, shortest thing.
Never seen it.
So fucking funny. He's like, I'm Italian, because Andrew Cuomo was like, I'm Italian. We use our hands. He's like, I'm Italian, like Olive Garden, gabagool. When you hear your family, like stuff like that's.
Maybe
Kyle
I have
Dunnigan,
seen a little something about
absolutely undefeated.
that.
Guy.
That guy was just at Helium.
The Olive Garden guy.
No, the guy, the black guy from Saturday Night Live. That was on Kill Tony.
Cam Patterson?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
maybe it's coming up still. I thought it was just like
Could
last
be.
week.
I didn't see it. They've got so many good people at the Buffalo Helium though.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, like
'Cause
Buffalo
it's good.
could-
Well, the Helium is like a franchise of comedy clubs, and the people, the comedians, they usually they say they like them. They get treated pretty well there. So
Nice.
they got one
Oh,
in Philly, one
Nick
in
Coletti's
St.
coming
Louis.
on January 22nd.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. When was? Yeah, it already happened. I think.
They had somebody good there
Yeah,
though.
January 3rd. Yeah, it was last week.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a new Kill Tony Netflix episode that I gotta watch on the way home today.
Kill Tony's on Netflix.
They have this big deal with Netflix, so it's not like they do a show every Monday on YouTube, so it's not like every episode of Kill Tony, but they've got the first deal I think was like for 3 episodes, and then they extended it. So
Have we talked about this whole YouTube Netflix thing going on?
What's going on?
So Barstool just signed a deal with Netflix that their 3 biggest podcasts, so Part of My Take, Spittin' Chicklets, maybe not necessarily 3, and the Ryan Russillo Show, I believe, are no longer available on YouTube. They're only available on Netflix. You can still listen to audio anywhere, but video format is only available on Netflix.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw Part of My Take on there today.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so it's brand new. So that was Monday was the first episode.
Jesus.
That was on YouTube. So literally yesterday.
See, I like the Kill Tony way where they still... Because the YouTube audience, and maybe it's different for the Barstool shows, but the YouTube audience is, one, very loyal, but one, to your point, very passionate.
Well,
they've got that in common with you.
So that's what I find interesting about it is, as of right now, all the other content for those shows is still on YouTube. So like Part of My Take does PMTV, which is like a weekly, YouTube video, behind the scenes kind of thing. They do like golf videos. They do, all kinds of things. Same with the Spittin' Chicklets guys. Like they have the Sandbaggers. They do some other stuff. Like all that stuff will. They have the Chicklets U like series. All that stuff will still be hosted on YouTube for the time being. But then I think there's a component of like, because they do a lot of live streaming. So I think the live streaming like if they do live podcasts, that will also be hosted on Netflix.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me that Netflix is kind of getting into like the.
Oh, it's not weird. I don't think it's weird at all, dude. You know, if you if you just imagine these video podcasts as if they were like a fucking TV
I know,
show,
but that's what I'm but I'm saying it. The reason it's weird to me is because essentially Netflix is now. Netflix and YouTube were competitors, which I think a lot of people, like especially like older people, probably didn't ever consider that. But now they've really made themselves like Netflix stepping in and signing these deals has made them like truly direct competitors, which makes sense. Again, Netflix is trying to take eyes away from, YouTube. It makes sense, but it's just so different from. I don't know. It's the same thing like with the games and stuff on Netflix. I don't know. Netflix is doing all sorts of shit.
Sure.
Which I understand. I guess it's just when I say I don't understand it, it's not that I actually don't. I don't. It doesn't fathom my brain because it's not what I. Netflix is going to have to rebrand itself to make people familiar with its platform.
I don't know if they're going to have to do like a total rebrand.
No. But I mean, they're going to have to. Yeah. But they're going to have to do. And like, that's the weird thing about Netflix as opposed to like, let's say Hulu. Like, I wonder. There's a lot of people that have both. I would love to know the amount of people that have just Netflix as opposed to just Hulu. Mm-hmm. I just assume, I could be so wrong, that it's like astronomically larger. Like, I don't have Hulu. I know a lot of people that don't have Hulu. There's not many people that I know that don't have Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in one way, Netflix is kind of specialized. That helps. Like Hulu, they have a lot of stuff on there. Like I have Hulu for the live. That's how I get my live TV. But it is interesting to get back to just Netflix, YouTube, Netflix taking things from YouTube, because YouTube makes their money from people posting content for free on their platform. So YouTube, in order to keep those big earners for them, they're going to have to start making like more traditional deals with creators.
As opposed to just like ad revenue and stuff like that.
Yeah, from people posting their videos for free.
Yeah.
But a lot of people post things on YouTube now. I don't know. It's
and
cool.
they still will.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So I guess this is my question. Like you go on Netflix right now and you'll be like scrolling through like shows and then randomly it'll be like there's like a game. You know what I mean? And I guess now it's kind of like randomly you just come across like a podcast. Are they going to try to build it out so it's like they have their own? And this is, I guess it's also because I'm not a big YouTube user where I know a lot of people watch YouTube as if it is TV. Like, right? Like that's their source of entertainment. Like they just go watch YouTube videos. I'm not like that. So that's maybe why it doesn't mentally correlate at times. Yeah. But is Netflix going to build out a platform that's like, hey, this is a content creator section essentially? Like it won't be open to everybody, but it'll be open to.
I think that would be a waste of time. I'm sure they'll just have more. They put the stuff in there.
They'll let YouTube do their whole content create. Like anybody can go on there and post.
There's zero reason for Netflix to shell out the cash to create another platform when they can just put all of that on their platform the way they are now. Now,
I'm not saying make a secondary platform.
That's what it sounds like. Once they get more podcasts and things, once they get more games,
so let's talk about not podcasts. So you're talking about competing with YouTube. Like, are they like there's YouTube shows that aren't podcasts?
Not anymore. Or there's shows that people post on YouTube, if that's what you're saying. But YouTube doesn't make TV shows anymore.
Yes. No, I'm saying people post shows on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it still might be like this. Like, it might be as if it's a podcast format. Like, it's just two guys talking about whatever, right? But they're posting it to YouTube, not in a podcast form. Like, are they going to put stuff like is that they're going to get stuff like that too? Because that's what I'm saying is,
people
are you ultimately
posting
going to be able
things
to
on
just
Netflix. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Okay. I don't think so, because the benefit of Netflix is that it's curated content. Like, it makes a lot more sense for them to do what they've already done, making deals with Pardon My Take or Kill Tony,
But that's
proven concepts that work.
Yeah. But this is so. To me, though, if you're YouTube starts to lose its lust if Netflix starts paying out all the big stuff. Like, you'll still go on YouTube and watch random shit if you're a YouTube person, but if they start taking all the big stuff, YouTube's going to start then losing eyes.
Right, potentially. So, I said, they're going to have to start YouTube. I think it's YouTube that's going to have to adjust to what Netflix is doing, not the other way around.
So that's what I'm saying. So then YouTube does that, so then what's next? Because they're Netflix is going to go up now, right, in theory, because they're going to start doing this. And then YouTube's going to have to balance it out, or, going to pay to probably balance it out. And then once they're even again, what's the next step? I'm not really making sense of, like, I'm not talking about this from, like, an actual business perspective. I'm more so just, like, because I view Netflix the way that I view it, the same way I viewed it, like, when Netflix first started, even when you could, like, when it was, like, a subscription-based thing and you got DVDs sent to your house, right? Like, from that to this it's evolved so much. So I guess maybe my question is more so, like, what's the next evolution?
Well, that's almost impossible to speculate on.
No, we can speculate. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm speculating.
I don't know.
Who
knows?
For
one thing, to your earlier point, people will never stop posting on YouTube. So people who use YouTube are just going to find
the Oasis
things to watch.
Netflix is going to create the Oasis, and you can go
Oasis
live in Netflix content. You go live in it.
Yeah, definitely get like a VR type first-hand experience. Sit at the front row of Kill Tony, sit in the room with the Pardon My Take guys, stuff like that.
Because they're doing live sports now. So
yeah, and there's limited versions of that have been tried before, haven't really taken off, but
Yeah, but event spaces like that they have places that are dedicated to that. Like big companies and buildings,
To what?
Like making it seem like you're in an immersive experience, like watching something in the front row.
But I was mostly talking about like the live stuff. Like they've tried stuff where you put on the Google glasses and you're sitting courtside at the Lakers game, and that just didn't really take off. I never tried it, so I don't know what the issues were with the technology, if people just didn't want to do it.
I think that's a good next evolution, though.
Yeah, could be. Very well could be.
But you should be able to do it imagine this is why you need an omnidirectional treadmill as well. This is where it gets Oasis-y. Like, you're in Stranger Things, and you're running up that road, running up that hill with the fellas.
Of course.
You
need... it's obvious we're all going to need omnidirectional treadmills. That's a given.
I would buy one now while they're still
while
in high demand.
Because they're going to run out quick, folks, and our operators are standing by.
We should... It's a business idea. We should manufacture omnidirectional treadmills. We should create and sell omnidirectional treadmills. Because that to me seems like an industry that's going to start booming.
Could be good. We'd have to get somebody like Bezos on board. Maybe not, but
what do we need Bezos for?
Well, you have to get a factory to make this.
I know. That's that's
an American factory is gonna. I don't know about that. There's a lot of abandoned factory space in Buffalo.
Too expensive.
I don't know.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but that's all right. We could do all that.
We're gonna have to see.
What do we need Bezos for, dude? I don't even fucking.
I'm just
listen.
saying.
I love Bezos, but this whole omnidirectional treadmill idea, I don't need Bezos for this.
Okay.
Let me run with this one. Let me fly.
Famous last words. I don't need Bezos for this. Famous last words.
Should we do the Hoover of the week?
Yes, let's do the Who Would Win of the Week.
I don't need fucking Bezos for this episode title.
The Who Would Win of the Week this week is Caesar from Planet of the Apes versus Bubbles, Michael Jackson's chimp. The reason I came up with this idea because it's earlier this week was Bubbles' birthday.
Shout out to Bubbles.
42 years old. 42 years old. How fucking crazy is that? What is the lifespan of a...
Think about the shit
I think he's a chimp.
That fucking monkey has seen.
That's what everybody says. Now, I'm pretty sure he moved to the zoo before... No, I think he moved... I think I remember the story, him moving to the zoo right when Mikey died.
He was holding the other leg.
God damn, son. Come on now. Come on now. Just close your eyes. Bubble will spread your cheeks for you. Come on, guys. Now. Caesar. That's a pretty good Caesar. Versus...
Love grilled cheese.
Dude. You should be Caesar. That's a great Caesar.
I haven't seen a lot of grilled cheese content lately.
Wow. They got you.
Yeah.
They fucking got you.
Yeah.
You're stuck in a cheese world, man.
Well, they figured out that, I was living under the radar.
Now, God, Caesar versus Bubbles. Where do we even start with this? Bubbles. Bubbles.
I got to look up a picture of Bubbles. I got to see what he is. I got to see what he is.
I'm pretty sure he's a chimp. Will you also look up like what the average age of the chimps are? Because 42 is crazy. I remember when our dad was 42.
Me too.
And now Bubbles.
I have a fucking wicked fact about our dad at 42.
Oh no.
I won't share it.
Okay.
No, I just specifically remember it.
Yeah.
Because that was 20
lost
years
his
ago.
hair. Yeah.
Okay. He was a chimpanzee.
Nice. Is a chimpanzee.
What is Caesar technically?
Yeah. Is he an ape?
I think he's an ape. But like what?
What's the difference? Something with their genitals, probably. There's probably something with tails. Like that's the difference between chimps and monkeys. Because monkeys have tails. Something like that. I'm not a zoologist.
I can't spell.
I've never played Zoo Tycoon.
Chimpanzee.
Nice. So it's a chimp.
Chimpanzee versus chimpanzee.
And it's difficult because I don't know if you're aware of this, Matthew, but chimps apart, weak, but chimps together, strong.
I did know that.
Strong.
Yeah, and this is chimp on chimp crime.
And this is chimps apart.
This is what was that? What was that guy with the scar?
The scar guy's name?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Monty.
Bad news.
Kaba. It's
Koba.
what's it?
Koba.
Yeah, Koba.
Yeah. Something like that.
I think
Good pull.
I think it's yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know Bubbles' level of intelligence. I know all chimps are smart.
Yeah.
But Caesar, obviously, because he has the green stuff in his eyes, he's highly intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how highly intelligent Bubbles is. And I go two ways on this. Part of me feels that for some reason Michael Jackson would have made him super intelligent. The other part of me feels that Michael Jackson may have made him extremely dumb. Because I think, I don't know this. This is probably documented, and you might know this. Based off of the slight knowledge I had of Bubbles and a few of the pictures that I just looked up, I don't think Bubbles was allowed to live like a chimpanzee. I think he was treated as a legitimate human child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like child care. Like, I think he had a nanny.
Yeah.
That treated him like a baby at Michael's request, not like a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Which makes me believe that he's not intelligent or equipped to fight. Because here's the thing about Caesar. Caesar's rare because he's so intelligent that even though technically speaking he was raised in captivity, he still has the strength and the knowledge to rule all apes, wild or those raised in captivity, which is super impressive. And you see it early on when he first goes to the thing, and he convinces the big strong guy to help him escape. because they're spraying him with the power washer and stuff, and he doesn't like it there. So he doesn't like that there.
Yeah.
Like right away, there was a slight adjustment period, but right away his intelligence allowed him to essentially manipulate animals that had only ever lived in a
captive environment.
But captive with competition. Because that was the thing about Caesar, because he was taken as a baby, he grew up as an only child.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the problem. You don't get socialized. So Caesar's just miraculous.
I think that there's an alternate reality based on everything we know where Bubbles becomes Caesar. If Bubbles gets a hit of that gas, he's Caesar.
If Bubbles was on the gas, this
Caesar.
would be a lot different. But Bubbles is not on the gas.
Let me go with that then. Now Caesar, he is more intelligent, obviously, because of the gas. But
he figured
Bubbles,
out the ring thing.
He figured out the ring thing. He's got it. Nobody's doubting Caesar's intelligence. But Bubbles is still a creature of instinct. Okay? And we know when chimps act on instinct, you've heard the stories.
But so is Caesar.
You heard the stories.
Yeah, they rip faces off.
They rip faces off. They rip off testicles.
Mm-hmm. That's
Caesar,
what happened to mine.
but that's not who Caesar is at this point. Now Caesar's able to adapt.
I disagree.
Caesar, I think it's very clear that Caesar is.
What Planet of the
I
Apes
think
are we
it's
talking?
very clear. Even in the first one, once he gets fully gassed, a fully gassed Caesar, I think it's very clear that Caesar is no longer governed by pure instinct. He thinks through everything. Bubbles is pure instinct.
Well,
and he's strong as shit.
Actually, but see, here's where I somewhat disagree with you because I think it's the opposite. I think Caesar acts on instinct. I think Bubbles acts on impulse.
That doesn't make a lick of sense.
It does. Let me
Matthew.
explain to you. Because Caesar has the ability to control his impulses and listen to his instincts of decisions that he should make based on.
That's not instinct, though. That's
Yes, it is.
problem solving.
No, that's
He's
instinct.
literally thinking.
No, that's instinct is like that internal knowledge that
Instinct is impulsive. Instinct is impulsive.
Yes, it is, but instinct implies intelligent impulse. Impulsively
That's not
making
true.
the proper decision. Yes, that's why instinct and impulse are different words.
It implies a biological imperative,
Yes, but
not intelligence.
Instinct
does not imply intelligence.
No, yes, it does. Instinct implies intelligence.
Not intelligence
because
in the sense
you
of like problem
instinctively
solving.
I know, but you instinctively do something often. Like
Out
it's
of a need
back
for
to
survival.
Yes, out of a need for survival. And he still has that instinct. He understands how to survive. How do you think he rules all of these apes? If he didn't have that, he would not be the ruler. Koba would have been the ruler. But Koba
I'm not saying he doesn't
didn't
have
see the ultimate goal of what they were doing by, colonizing the apes essentially, and he acted on impulse, and in turn, my boy got clapped.
I mean,
Facts. I just fact the shit out of you. Instinct and impulse are two different things. I'm not saying that Bubbles, and actually, this is what I say. I don't think Bubbles has any instinct because that can be raised out of you. That's what happens with animals in captivity. Is like they don't at a young age they don't act on instinct, so they forget those instincts.
here's the deal, man. Caesar and Bubbles are getting together. Bubbles realizes that this guy's a threat. His fear instinct kicks in, and that's when we see that wild chimp behavior. That's undeniable.
But Caesar still has that. Look at all the
Caesar
apes and the chimps
fights. He's a great
and he
fighter.
beats the fuck out of people.
Sure he does.
And he fights strategically because he has additional instincts that most apes don't have. Caesar has ape instincts and human instincts all in one. Bubbles, the only instinct Bubbles has is like, when am I getting my bottle and put my Cartier sweater on?
Caesar realizes when it's time to retreat, when that would benefit him. Bubbles has no realization of that.
That's not necessarily
that's
not
really
necessarily
hurt
true,
Bubbles,
though.
and he'd still be fighting because
Caesar,
instinctually he's fighting for his life.
It's not necessarily true because you actually see this in the movies. Caesar understands that as part of, because he's not human and he is part ape, there is times where he understands that in order to show his true test of strength, he may have to fight to the death. And if he dies doing that, it's because that's the ape in him showing the difference between apes and humans.
I don't know, man. I think I hear you at this point, but it's not.
It's 100%
It's not
Caesar.
convincing me.
But Caesar's winning this fight. If you tell me that Caesar's not winning this fight, I will have a serious issue.
I don't know. I mean,
Caesar rules the entire world of apes. He rules
leadership is different than the physical ability to fight.
But that's not with apes because he has to fight his way to get there. And he does that. He does both. He brings the human element and the ape element to make the perfect ape leader. He does that. He fights Koba. He fights these apes that are trying to rebel against him because they want to kill all the humans. And Caesar's like, no, there's a way that both groups can live in peace. And then, of course, he does ultimately go against the humans because he realizes that the humans are the problem and why they can't live peacefully. It's this whole thing, right? But
okay,
he takes both. It's Caesar.
I'm going to agree with you that Caesar wins this fight because he's got the fighting experience and he's super strong. However, I don't think that Caesar's humanization is necessarily a benefit in the fight. That's all I'm saying.
I 100% do.
And that's the part that I don't agree with.
Humanized.
I hear
because
you.
He still now lives and with all apes.
I don't know, man.
He gave up his human days because he saw the flaws in humanity.
I think that, but I'm telling you, I think that if a group of wild apes rolled up to Caesar, they'd be like, this fucking guy. It's like
that happens. And then next thing you know, they're part of his pack, buddy.
Well, they get aped up too. They get human aped up too.
I know, but that doesn't just happen overnight. Caesar has to prove himself.
Caesar, look, nobody's doubting Caesar's leadership ability. We're not even doubting his fighting abilities at this point.
Nor should we be.
I'm just saying, Bubbles has a bit of an edge being a wild animal, run purely on instinct.
But I don't think
that's
so.
What I think. But that's what I think.
A human, against
I'm just
a
saying
human,
that's what I think.
Yes, but Caesar matches his strength, all his physical attributes, because they're the same exact type of animal. They're chimpanzees. And on top of that, Caesar has a elevated level of intelligence that allows him to critically think and stuff like that. So when he's fighting, he no longer has to fight out of impulse or just ape instinct or chimpanzee instinct. He can also use his high level of intelligence to be strategic about his fight. Caesar, for sure. Yeah. We're both locking in Caesar. Shout out to Bubbles, though. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win of the week? Caesar from Planet of the Apes versus Bubble, Michael Jackson's chimpanzee.
And Bubbles no snitch. We'd say that. Say that for him. Bubbles no snitch.
Hasn't said a word since.
Tightest lips of any chimp. That's for sure. Closing thoughts here. You know what I listened to the other day when I was driving in? I think it was last week. I listened to the entire coloring book, Chance the Rapper, from way back when. Now, this is why I bring it up. Tell me if I'm wrong here. My memory of this is that it took the world by storm. It took the people by storm.
It was a super popular album.
I can't recall, honestly, I can't recall any album, like new album, that I listened to in its entirety consistently.
I don't know what, dude, it was maybe
every
like a
track
month
on
ago.
it still holds up and is still spectacular.
So good. I was working on something and I needed, a little juice, and I randomly put on like a shuffled playlist of that album and Acid Rap.
Is that Chance the Rapper as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember hearing that name, but that's his
pre first big album.
Coloring book I remember just took over everything. Even I was I was never I didn't have my ear to the streets with that sort of thing. New albums, new music. But that one, even I was like, God damn, we're playing this nonstop.
Yeah, No Problem, great song.
I would say
Blessings, good
Blessings,
Same Drugs,
Same
Mixtape,
Drugs. I think about Same Drugs.
Juke Jam,
Juke Jam, I forgot about that.
Break.
Juke Jam rules. Smoke Break, great.
But yeah, Acid Rap was Push a Man, Cocoa Butter Kisses, Juice. Favorite song, that was obviously with the Childish Gambino song.
Okay, I've never heard any of these. I never listened to Acid Rap.
No, you never listened to Chainsmoker? Dude, this is great. Nah, with Action
the real
Bronson.
Stuff right there.
And I'm not a music guy.
The one with Action Bronson, I listen to.
I'm not a music guy, so I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a music guy. But I really used to like Chance the Rapper and Childish Gambino.
Well, of
I did
course.
that. I listened to the Camp album, Childish Gambino,
yeah.
not long ago too. It was kind of all in that same period. And I don't listen to a lot of music.
Camp came
so it's
out
ironic.
quite a while before Coloring Book, I would say.
Yes, but it was more similar to acid rap. So let me see. So acid rap. When did acid rap come out?
God, you call me a slow Googler. I feel like you should have this immediately. I'm still talking? Jesus Christ.
So 2013, acid rap came out. Coloring Book came out in 2016. Let's see when Camp came out.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Camp came out in 2011.
Okay,
so
that's
2
what I
years
thought.
before.
Okay, that's not as long as
acid
I
rap.
thought.
No,
Well,
and
I was
the
comparing it
world
to whatever.
long awaited. Childish Gambino and Chance the Rapper, they always said they were going to do an album together,
Mhm.
and they never did.
You never know.
But it would have been so good.
But just my memory of Coloring Book.
Donnie Trumpets.
Oh my God. Holy smokes. And re-listening to the whole thing, I just remember so many parts that I loved. And my big memory of Coloring Book is that, like, it was on every college campus in America, just playing
All
on
night, I'm
repeat.
drinking all night, I'm drinking all night, I'm drinking all night. Hey,
Even
all
that-
night,
the
I'm drinking
first
all night, I'm
song,
drinking all night,
so
I'm drinking
good.
all night. Hey.
I just remember the line where he goes, "Man, my daughter couldn't have a better mother." Like, the way he says that is so good. Blessings was my
Dude,
favorite
are you
song,
driving
though.
home tonight?
Of course.
You should listen to Acid Rap.
I'm going to watch a Kill Tony episode on Netflix, but
While you drive?
yeah. Well, you listen
Dude.
to it, you put it on. I'll put it, and also I like the sun to be out when I'm listening to an album like that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
prefer for my drives here as opposed to my drives back.
Dude, I wish I could fucking. There's so many good songs. All right, Andy, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.